A couple's decision to adopt a child is a huge step in their life, and for couples who want to adopt an infant, the first part of the process is finding a birth mother looking for adoptive parents. Joining me with more information on the adoption process, daytime legal attorney Tommy Taniff. Tommy, nice to see you again here. And to talk about an interesting topic. It's fascinating, actually. I know it's complicated.
Can be.
So that's where you come in. Let's start at the beginning. If you want to adopt, do you, as a couple, look for the adoptive parent?
You can. It's an option. There are many options and many different ways for a couple to become adoptive parents. Some decide to work with public agencies, some decide to work with private agencies, and some decide to do it purely on their own.
And you can do that. I mean, you place ads?
You can do that.
And that's legal.
Ohio law recognizes private adoption. It also recognizes the option of you finding your own birth mom.
What about the different states? So Ohio law allows that, but what if you go into other states looking to find adoptive? Every state has different adoption laws?
Most states do allow some form of a targeted or identified adoption or locating a birth mom. Very few states do not allow it.
So if you just say, for chance, you would know a couple who, or they're having a child, they want that child up for adoption. Between the two of you, you can kind of work on arrangements of how you could adopt that infant.
Right. That's right. With private adoption, the couple is proactive. They're involved. And at that same time, they can participate in locating or taking steps necessary to locate a birth mom.
So then when do your services come in?
Usually at all stages. You want to get an attorney involved at the beginning to make sure that the couple is pre-approved. You also want that attorney involved in the beginning to show them how to properly network effectively and legally.
How long does that process take, Tommy?
With an effective networking campaign, most prospective adoptive parents should expect to be able to locate a birth mom within 6 to 12 months.
And do you go out and do that as well if they ask for your assistance?
Correct.
And because you are an adoption attorney, then do you have relationships with other adoption attorneys, so you're always sort of sharing this type of information with each other?
Exactly. I mean, we're networked with other facilities, with hospitals, with clergy, and different entities like that. And the other thing that the couples can do is they can launch networking campaigns on their own.
Oh, really? I was going to say Facebooking about adoption.
Facebooking,
Really?
Twitter, MySpace, YouTube, it's endless.
And obviously a parent wants to find an infant or for somebody to take that infant, and the couples want to find their baby as soon as possible, so they'll use all those measures. All
those. Text messaging, emailing, all those are available to a couple in helping them to try to locate a prospective birth mom.
Well, there are a lot of rules and regulations once they find each other. First of all, what is an open adoption? I hear the term, and I'm still confused by it.
An open adoption is an arrangement that the birth parents have with the adoptive parents where they continue to communicate with each other after the adoption. That's more and more common. We're seeing more and more open adoption. However, Ohio law, for example, specifically states that the open adoption agreement or arrangement cannot be legally enforced. So it's a moral obligation and it's a moral commitment. Most of them are open adoptions. Most people's open adoption arrangements do work out.
That's very interesting, though, that if they don't work out, there's really no legal recourse, is there?
Not under Ohio law.
Which brings us back to, what if you adopt a child from another state? Which state supersedes as far as the regulations, where the child came from or where the adoptive parents came from?
That's a very difficult question. Typically, at the beginning of the adoption, most birth parents will sign documents indicating that they agree to be bound by the couple's state's laws.
Are there very many times, Tommy, where that process does kind of get messed up? We hear that couples even take home a child sometimes, and then the child has to go back because the birth mother changed her mind.
It's rare.
It is rare.
It is rare. And in fact, probably 1% or less
really,
of adoptions are contested.
And that seems to be, though, what you hear a lot in the media, and it's a good thing that you clarified that, because I think there may be some couples not willing to take that step because of those stories that they've heard.
1% or less of adoptions are contested nationwide. That's a very low statistic.
That is. And if you want to, then the first step is to probably talk to somebody like you to make sure you do all the right things, dot the I's and cross the T's from the very beginning.
Exactly. And the other piece of advice that I give couples as well is go with your gut. If something doesn't feel right about the adoption, it probably isn't. Always go with your gut.
That's really good advice. Tommy, your phone number's been up there, and if folks need to talk with someone about this process, they can pick up the phone and talk to you. Nice to see you.
Anytime. Thanks for having me, Gail.